Hello and welcome to Losers Watch Love is Blind. I'm Brandon.
Season 8. I'm Crista.
And I'm Season 8. We're here to talk about episodes 10, 11, and 12 of Love is Blind, USA, Season 8, Minnesota.
Ugh. Okay.
Okay. Done.
Done. That's how exciting the episodes were. We're already done.
We're done. You're a liar. So where did we leave off? In episode 9, before a week-long wait for a drop.
Remember?
Laura was crying. Lauren was crying.
Who's Laura?
Lauren was crying in her apartment alone.
The Dave shit hasn't happened.
Dave wouldn't have stayed with her. Dave went out with his friends instead of them coming over to converse with Lauren and figure out this whole nonsense of Jim Tan Law.
And then he figured out that he didn't want to come home at 3 a.m. and texted her and said, I'm not going to come home tonight.
Well, he knew that he was not going to stay there.
Well, he didn't tell her that till 3 a.m. because he's a fucking douchebag.
I think he said, I'm not going to hang out.
But then she specifically said, that he texted her.
Yeah. And then she texted back and then didn't hear anything, and the text was green, so his phone was off.
Yeah.
Or she was blocked.
I don't think she was blocked because they still talk again after that.
Yes, he comes home at late the next day, like in the afternoon.
And hadn't answered her all morning.
Yeah, because his phone died when he passed out. And then he woke up and fell back asleep and then had to charge his phone to get an Uber to come over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dave sucks.
Dave does suck.
He's probably one of the worst people. On like a general scale, not just in Love is Blind. Like, he is probably one of the worst people in the world. He sucks.
Yeah, he does.
Like, as far as normal people go, he sucks.
Yeah, probably. Maybe he extra sucks because he's on the show, but...
Yeah, but he's also just a dick.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on from Dave.
Are we? Because they talk about being worried about meeting her parents.
Yep.
Because he doesn't want to meet the parents or he is worried about the parents asking him about why can't you get over all this nonsense, because it's nonsense, and he's like, I don't want to meet them.
And her dad doesn't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Because we all know that they do off-camera shit.
Yeah. But also Dave is a douchebag. It's not all about you. You guys are together. It's a partnership. You need to work together.
And get over this whole thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just get over it.
Fucking idiot. Ugh. I just hate him the entire this whole episode, because nothing else really happens with them other than them breaking up.
Spoilers. We're not there yet. Oh. My goodness.
But that's the next thing that happens.
They meet her mom next on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, they meet Lauren's mom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But nothing really happens from it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a very meh time.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah. And then that happens, and then he meets her dad off camera. They talk on the phone or whatever, a video call. And that's really it. And then
they go bowling.
They go bowling.
Fun date.
And then halfway through have this awkward thing, and they're both like, I don't want to talk here. Do you want to go somewhere private? And then they leave, and then
they go to a gymnasium.
It looks like a movie theater. Yeah. It's so weird. They're sitting in these weird seats, and then
stadium seats.
He's sitting there trying to convince her to break up with him.
Yep.
Well, he's trying to break up with her. And everything he's saying is nonsense. Oh, well, your dad didn't want to be on camera either. Because she's like, your sister and mom don't want to meet me at all. And he's like, well, they don't want to be on camera. No, they don't want to meet her. And you don't want them to meet her.
Yeah, Dave, you never had any intention of making Lauren meet your family.
And then the thing that pisses me off the most is that Lauren wrote him, his sister, a letter explaining why, what's going on and what happened and how much she wants to meet her and, be able to talk to her. And he won't even give it to her.
Yeah.
That's fucked. You're a piece of garbage.
Well, that's because it's all fake. Dave is a fake, fat, phony liar.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't want to be on the he didn't want to get married.
I know.
Or he didn't want to get married to Lauren.
No. Get out of here. I hate him. I hate him.
So yeah, they sit there, they converse, they cry. Well,
Lauren
cries.
He makes his face go red to pretend like he's crying.
Yeah.
If you stop breathing for a little bit and your face gets a little flushed because you're not putting oxygen to your brain, that's what he was doing.
Can't even fake cry.
Yeah,
Just
no.
red.
Stupid. I feel bad for her because it was just everything he said in that conversation was bullshit, and he kept trying to turn it around on her and her family and then tried to blame her dad.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You're the problem, sir.
It was very uncomfortable to like watch. He did the same thing in the pods, but with like Molly and Lauren.
Yeah.
And it's like he turns it around on them and makes it their fault that whatever is happening now.
Yes. And then you feel bad because it's sad.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with them, and now they're gone. Thank God.
Well, they're not quite gone. We have another thing, but we'll get there.
Yes, but like
we'll get there.
At least Lauren can like
Be free.
Yes. Thank fuck. That's all I've wanted.
Thank gosh darn it.
And that's it. That's all.
Okay, Monica and Joey.
They do a photo shoot. It's cute.
They do it with?
Her sister. Sister gets more on board with Joey finally. Well, the more on
the
board.
situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like she apologizes to Joey for not giving him a real chance at the beginning, and says she sees his personality more and gets it more now that he's seen them together during the photo shoot, and
she can always tell when a couple's really in love during a photo shoot.
I mean, she does do photo shoots for a living, so I kind of get it. And then, so that was kind of cute. The pictures actually were really good. Monica's like the most photogenic person for some reason. And it's very weird. Like, it's not that I think Monica's ugly or anything. It just, like, the fact of every photo that her sister took looked really good.
Or those are just the really good ones that we put on Netflix.
No, I know, but like...
She might have only...
But there was like...
She might have taken 30,000.
Yes, but there was like 30 of them that just looked really good. And sometimes it's very hard.
Yeah.
Because there were more natural photos. Like, they were like doing their own thing. And they looked cute.
Sure. They're cute.
They were cute.
Joey's cute.
No.
Admit it.
No.
He's a man's of cuteness.
I literally hate his voice so much. I could never get past that.
Yeah.
I couldn't date you, but I also live in Canada, so I don't know.
Don't out us. Gosh.
So, sorry.
We're from New Zealand.
No.
Okay, Sarah and Ben. We're picking up after the TikTok conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't dramatic at all.
Yeah, it wasn't really.
Like Sarah said, I'm gonna trust you, and if something else comes up, then we can worry about it then. And I'm not gonna totally discredit her, but I trust you, and that's not what I see. So let's continue on.
Yeah.
Pretty much what that conversation was, and I really commend her for that because I feel like it's very hard to ignore the chatter.
Yeah, I agree. And if it's true or not, very difficult. I'd have some sleuthing I'd be doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't just like leave it up to... I wouldn't end it here. Like, I'd be like, okay, time to do some sleuthing.
Yeah, but maybe she does. I don't know. It's really hard because you spent all this time with this person and you don't see that about them.
Yeah.
And again, if this is true that it's 4 years ago and all these other things are from a long time ago, things and people change. Like, I don't know. Can you really hold that against someone forever anyway, especially if that's not what you see now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
Everybody has a past. And it's not like a past like fucking Tyler last season who has 3 kids. Like,
as long as we're not hiding secret children.
Yes, like that's a past that you would have to be okay with at some point because it might impact your future. I feel like something like this, if it doesn't happen to her, like that's not going to impact their future if he really has worked on himself, changed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that's a lot easier to get past and work together through than 3 secret children.
I agree. 3 secret children is really the low bar here.
Yeah, it is. And then they broke up, so it makes sense.
Yeah. The next thing with Ben and Sarah is that they meet her sister and her sister's girlfriend.
And they hate Ben.
And they don't like Ben. Like, they don't seem like they hate Ben. Well, like, they seem like they hate Ben, but they talk like they hate the experiment.
Well, yeah, they definitely hate it. But they don't like Ben either. Like, I think they're very anti this entire thing, and so they don't think that he's the right fit for her.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell they don't think that. And a lot of the questions they ask are just, like, they're, like, invasive. And the fucking girlfriend talked the whole time. It wasn't even the sister.
Yeah.
The sister said like 4 things.
No, she talks.
Not as much.
No, not as much. But it was mostly Sarah doing the explaining.
Well, yeah, because she has to sit there and defend herself and this guy because you're being attacked by your family. That's shitty.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I didn't like that experience, and I don't like her sister or her girlfriend.
Yeah. They weren't the nicest, but like they did seem supportive of Sarah as a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not that I want everyone in the world to support this, but it's still your family. And if this is the decision they're deciding to make, to go on the show and go through this experience, you know your own family. So you know whether they're a genuine person on this experiment or are they Trevor.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're more inclined to know that. So if you know that your sister genuinely is looking for love and thinks she found it with someone, I feel like you should give more leeway to that situation and be more supportive. That's how I feel about it. And I don't feel that way from them at all.
No, they don't. They aren't like that.
And she doesn't isn't she the one whose mom's dead?
No.
No. Wrong one. Okay, then yeah. Like, and then I thought it was weird that we don't see her mom very much until the wedding.
There's a wedding? What?
That's the point of the show. I don't know. It just felt weird.
At the end of these episodes, it's the Sarah wedding.
Yeah. So, I forgot that it's because we're, okay.
Because we're recording under 3 pods and we haven't seen the finale, which is going to be the other 3 weddings.
Yes, but but that was the first time we saw the rest of her family.
This is the only meetup that Sarah has. We saw Ben's friends.
And that's it. We didn't see his family either. So maybe they didn't want to be on camera till the wedding, which is fine.
Yeah, or they live out of state or something, or hard, I don't know.
Her mom at the wedding is more supportive to Sarah than anyone in these conversations. She still asks like a few questions or whatever, but she's still the supportive one.
Yeah.
And her sister sucks.
You're jumping ahead. We're pausing before the meetup. We're doing a couple check-in and then the meetup and then the rest of this.
You're trying to make it so long.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Rewind. Okay, Devin and Virginia. They meet Virginia's mother with the 5,000 questions.
She's fucking annoying.
It was really annoying.
She was actually one of the most annoying people in the world. I don't care. I don't like that couple as a general, so it's also more annoying to have to listen to them sit there and defend themselves to 1,000 questions just being thrown at you from your mother.
It was 1,000 questions.
Oh,
it was a lot.
It was way too much. And then after, she's like, I didn't think my mom was going to ask that many questions.
Yeah, they have to do a whole debriefing on that and be like, yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, it was a lot.
They do this is where they do the debriefing in bed, and it's a really annoying conversation because it seems like Virginia is trying to fish for like, do you have any issues? And she does it in her
an issue.
Yeah. And she does it in her weird mousy way that was really annoying.
Do you have anything you want to talk about? Any questions for me? I just think that she tries to be so, like, little girl and small. Like, I feel like she tries to sound like the smaller person in the conversation, but she's the bigger personality between the two of them. But that's what that voice and how she acts sometimes makes me feel like. Like, I don't think that all the time, but, like, in this conversation, that's how I felt. Yeah. And also, if you have something to say, fucking spit that shit out.
Yeah, she wanted to talk about politics.
Which was also terrible.
It was an annoying conversation, an annoying way to start it.
Yes.
Just out with it and ask the questions that you want to know instead of trying to fish for him to ask you so you can start this conversation.
And he's not going to ask about politics. He's not going to bring up politics. Like, this is what you have to do because they're on the opposite sides of everything.
Not like necessarily opposite, but yeah.
Not on the same place.
Yeah. It seems like that.
And that seems to be a huge deal for her.
Yeah, it might be the thing that ends them.
Maybe. Who knows?
Dun, dun, dun.
It just was a lot. And it was a lot of talking about politics. Also, you're in bed. That's like a heavy conversation to have before bed.
I guess.
Especially because you don't know what the other person is, like, their vibe is. Yes.
Well, like, you probably know their vibe. You just want, like, confirmation. It seemed like she knew most of the answers. She just wanted him to say it.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I don't know.
Okay, now we do the meetup.
Okay.
Wait.
The meetup was
Yeah.
boring. I also don't have.
They
much
went
on that.
tubing. It looked fun.
Yeah.
Let's go tubing.
The couples went tubing. Just the couples, and then they go to like the chalet basically at this tubing place, and then the rest of the people show up. So Lauren comes in, and then we see like Molly come in.
Well, we talk about how Lauren's there alone.
Yes.
So, because no one has seen the couple.
No, but they know they broke up.
Yeah.
Because it was the day before that Lauren and Dave broke up, so she's by herself, and then Molly comes in. And we see her and Lauren have a little conversation about how shitty Dave is.
Yeah,
he's
shitty.
And Molly's like, I kind of got the vibe he was shitty, and their conversation was nice.
Brittany shows up.
Yeah, talks to Devin a bit. They talk about how they made better friends than anything.
It seemed like this was, like, in the trailer, it seems like there was going to be a lot of drama with this, with Dave talking to Molly and Devin talking to Brittany.
And Madison.
And Madison existing.
And Madison shows up, says that Alex is a fucking liar, and they met up at the airport after the show ended. And then he was and then he was being fucking weird. So she stopped.
She didn't
left.
Like, Alex met up with her, and they, like, went and they hung out or whatever for a week or something.
And he was being weird, so she didn't like it.
And she said that when they were off camera, he was like, fuck Mason. I don't care about that.
Which is a weird...
Yeah, it was very strange.
The whole thing was weird.
Yeah, she says that he saw her on Instagram or whatever, and like that's why he pushed for them to meet and hang out or give it a try or whatever. I don't know.
And then in the preview, they made it sound like she was calling Mason a big fucking liar, but she was actually calling Alex a big fucking liar.
Yeah.
And then
Mason and May come in.
But then we don't see Madison again at all, which is great.
Yeah,
but
she does like a few talks with the girls that we kind of see a little bit of, and then
like one comment.
Yeah, and then we just see like her interview the camera outside, and then nothing at all.
Thank God, because she sucks. And then Meg and Mason come in holding hands.
Yeah, and we're like, what's going on? Whoa!
But they're dating.
They're hanging out.
They're hanging
out.
They're seeing how it goes.
Yeah, and they did a meetup, and then they did the reveal dress.
Yeah, they did their own reveal.
Meg was excited about that. That was cute.
And somebody recorded it.
Yeah, they must have had a tripod or someone recording it. That is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it would have been recorded on TV, right? So
I guess, yeah. But like they've already seen each other at that point. It's not the same, but like it's cute that they did it.
Yeah. It's cute that they're trying and they're hanging out. That's nice. And then we see Molly talk to Dave because Dave finally shows up. And Dave
shows up, hangs out with the guys, explains to the guys what the situation is.
And says that he was trying to get Lauren to break up with him, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Lauren talks to him later and he says, I was not trying to get you to do that. And I'm like, but you just said that.
Yeah.
Like, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. And it was a really stressful conversation between him and Lauren because, like, it was like, it looked like Lauren was going to take him back almost.
Yeah.
It was stressful.
I feel like the edit made it seem like that.
Yeah.
And it was stressful the whole time because you're like, Lauren, don't do it. And then she doesn't. They hug. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just fucked. And then Molly rips him a new asshole somewhat because she's like, I don't understand why you can't get over this. Like, it's just so ridiculous. And she was like, I'm sorry. Have you never had sex? Like, are you just celibate and you don't have sex? Like,
when was the last time you had sex? And like that in the previews, it was like a conversation that seemed like they were going to like be drama together.
But she was just calling him out.
Yeah.
So and he's like, well, I don't know. And she's like, oh, okay, right. I forgot that you're celibate and have never had sex before.
It's been so long, I guess, for you.
Yeah, like, it's just,
and
fuck off, Dave.
Molly in this conversation is way too drunk. She looks like she can...
Well, they both look drunk.
Yeah, but like she looks like she can't sit still.
Yes.
So I hope she's okay.
But the point was still
like,
driven in to him, which is great.
And he spends that conversation saying, like, I'm usually the one that fucks up, but this time I didn't. It's like...
But you did.
You did. This is still a you fuck up because you can't get over it. But like he thinks it's a clean slate because it's not something he did. It's just something he can't get over.
Well, she's just so fucked. He's a very toxic human being. And I hope no one in the world ever him because fuck, you'll just be screwed for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it that happens at that meetup.
Yeah.
Like, nothing
Yeah. There were
big.
all the drama that was promised in the previews was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is no drama this season, really. Yep. So that was that episode. Fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now the rest of the show. Ben and Sarah will do... Or no, we'll leave them. We'll do Virginia and Devin. Like, for the rest of what they do the next 2 episodes. They learn to dance together. That was cute.
Sure.
Wow.
They're my least favorite couple. I just have no investment in them.
Yeah. Well, that's rude. They have a chat over dinner where Devin's week is very stressful with a game tournament thing that he has. And then it's his birthday.
Last basketball tournament.
Yeah, it's his birthday, and then it's the wedding, so it's also the bachelor party. So, like, that's a lot of things for poor Devin.
He's just busy.
He's a busy guy.
And she gives him the prenup.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And he doesn't sign it yet.
He needs to check it out.
Yeah.
Which, like,
it's fine.
Yeah.
You should read it. She wants you to read it.
Yes.
She doesn't want you to blindly sign it.
Just seems so dramatic.
Yes. But then later on, he does sign it.
Yeah.
And he is nice, and he says, I read it, and it's good, and whatever. My mom was the one that's more worried about it than me.
And she said it was fine, and it seems fine.
Yeah, so he signs it. They sign it. Yay, done.
And then their last date is a horse carriage ride.
Yep.
And then they go to a fancy Italian dinner where you
with
paid her
champagne
dress.
In the horse carriage ride.
Everyone had champagne.
I know,
it's
but...
just Ben couldn't figure out how to open champagne.
But can you drink champagne on the streets of Minnesota, you know?
You're not in the streets. You're in a carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated her dress because I felt like her boobs were going to fall out the whole time. Like, they were very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very stressful top to that dress. And their conversation was meaningless because I don't remember any of it, and it was boring.
Yeah, all their final dates are just mush about each other.
Yeah, and...
It's stupid.
That's it.
That's it for them.
Monica and Joey.
We saw nothing of them after the hangout.
Yeah, we only saw their date.
Yeah, the next time we see them is on their date at a conservatory.
It was very nice.
Yeah, it looked cute.
And they were cute. They just chatted. It was nice.
They were also mush.
They love each other.
Yep.
If they don't get married, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Taylor and Daniel.
They do their Christmas photo shoot, these ones?
Yeah. They did their Christmas photo shoot after the meetup.
And it was very sweet. I feel like we talked about this already.
Nope.
Wasn't it before? No? Okay. So they do this Christmas photo shoot. Oh, no, it was just because I was yelling at you because you can't listen and write your notes at the same time. So they're getting pictures done. They're wearing their reveal outfits. They're doing it in front of like a cute Christmas.
This is 9 months before Christmas.
Yeah, backdrop thing. But they're doing it for their wedding favors. They're giving everybody an ornament with the picture on it. So that's cute. And they talk about how it's 9 months till Christmas. And she asks him when he usually sets up for Christmas. And he says, about 9 months early, I start getting my ideas together and ready for his Christmas card. So, and she also likes getting stuff ready early. So they're just meant to be with their Christmas love.
Yes, but no one is setting up for Christmas 9 months early. I just want to point that out.
But the photo shoot was cute. The pictures were nice. I liked it.
Much more professional than I'm sure he's used to.
Yes,
having
definitely.
like a studio and everything.
Yeah, definitely. And it was cool. They brought all their stuff, like all their Christmas stockings and all this crap. It was adorable.
Set up the tree.
Yeah.
It's such a pain in the ass.
They brought their own tree and set it up. It was cute.
Or maybe they bought one, or maybe like this place had a tree. They just didn't have it set up and they had to set it up. I don't know, but I would not do this. It's too much work.
That tree was much smaller than our tree. Our tree is the son of a bitch.
Much work.
You know, like their tree was tiny.
Uh-huh.
Like probably 20 ornaments filled that up. Ours takes like 120. It's just different.
What is their final date? They go skating.
They go skating
and then they have dinner on the ice.
Yeah, which was cute.
It was cute. Just
it
would be cold and annoying and I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but it was cute. And then we have Sarah and Ben, who go on their final date glamping, which was cute.
I don't know. Do they glamp? Do they actually sleep there, do you think?
I think so. They probably did.
Oh, wait. Before that, though, they went to church.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big part.
It was very awkward.
They went, because like it's a big, weird church with a giant TV so that you could see the person talking the whole time. The pastor or whatever, and then like they were up in the raptors.
In the rafters. There's a raptor up there.
Rafters, yeah. they were up there with his friends that they
That
go
he
to
goes to
church
church with.
together, I guess.
It just wasn't Sarah's thing, but also it was awkward to just watch them be at church.
Yeah.
Like, we had a camera crew in the church. I would have rather you just told me about it than actually made me watch you.
Yeah.
I feel like it was
like,
weird.
see, like, watch me, like, film me going in.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say it's, like, disrespectful, but it almost feels disrespectful for other people that are there that you have, like, a camera crew in there watching these people sit. But...
Which is probably why, like, they did the rafters and were mostly alone and isolated, it seemed.
But Sarah said that it wasn't really her thing, but she would go again because it's important to him.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Or, like, go to a church again.
Yeah. So, and then they have a conversation about it later in their glamping trip about how she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And she asked him if he would be willing to find a place that works for both of them and go together and make it, like, something they can do as a couple, but where they both feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, he would.
Yeah. And her complaint was mostly like she didn't like the wording, and he can't really say like what the church's thoughts are on like acceptance of LGBTQ plus people, etc.
No.
Which I kind of agree with them. It's hard to know what their stances are if it's not a direct fuck those people.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to know when it's that one.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought that was... I think their communication... I said this to you already, but the communication that they have between each other is very good. Like, I think they both hear each other out very well.
I think it's good on Sarah's side, but when she, like, goes and asks Ben, like, do you have any questions or concerns? This is literally our second last night or whatever. And he's just like, I had a stressful day at work, so I haven't thought about anything. And
yeah, but I also don't think Ben has very many concerns, and I think that's the other part of it.
Yeah, that might be it.
Like, I think he's...
Or he's a monster.
Maybe, but I think he's just very... I think Ben's very chill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's very high-strung, and I think he cares about his, like, faith, and he has that side to him, but I don't think he's super, like, this has to be this way, and I only care about it being like this. Like, he just doesn't come off as that kind of person.
Yeah.
So I think to him, it just isn't as deep as it is to Sarah about concerns, and that's because she has this concern about the church stuff and about the religious part of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get where you're coming from.
So, I don't know, but I do like their communication. I feel like they work well together.
Yeah.
And they find a solution together as opposed to just going at each other about things they don't like.
I don't think they go at each other. I don't think they come together for this. Ben's accepting of trying it Sarah's way.
Yeah.
And not saying like Sarah's like bossy or whatever, but saying like Sarah has an issue and Ben's just chill. So
he's willing to just find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing because I don't think she's asking for too much in this situation.
Oh, no, definitely not.
I think she tried to do what he wanted because she's not religious at all. And she's trying to find like a good middle ground for them.
Yes.
Because she's not religious. And she's still willing to find a church that works for them and stuff like that. Right. So I think that's a good quality to have between two people.
Thumbs up.
Ding.
Unless he's a monster.
Unless he's a monster, I just don't. I'm not on board.
You're not on board.
I'm not on board. I don't.
And I'm like 65 or 55-45.
I need some receipts. I've seen no receipts about Ben.
To the internet.
The one bitch crying from 4 years ago isn't enough for me.
Okay.
So.
Okay, bachelor and bachelorette parties.
The guys so at first I was like, the guys always get to do cool shit because last year the guys did some cool sports stuff.
They played like at a basketball game.
Oh yeah, and then the year before that they got to throw the opening pitch for a baseball game. No? Yeah, like at one point they did.
Ooh.
I don't remember what season that was.
I remember that was a reunion where
and they just
throw the pitch.
No, but maybe I'm thinking of the guys going to a game and getting to do it.
I think that was the basketball one from last season.
Maybe. But they get to do fun stuff that isn't just like...
Yeah, last season the guys got to do like the basketball and the girls did a tea party.
Sitting on the floor at that. Yeah, that was brutal. But this one I was like, oh, they get to do fun, so they get to go to the Viking Stadium.
Well, training stadium. They're not in the actual stadium.
But they get to do like a training with a coach guy, I
and the
guess.
mascot, yeah.
Yeah, and the mascot, and they got to throw balls and learn a kick and stuff, and it was cool. And they got their own swag. They got their own Viking, like, not Viking jerseys, but they're in the colors. Yeah. With their names on it, and, like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
that
I
they get a
agree.
bunch
And
of
I don't
swag.
even like sports.
No, but a lot of them do, and I think that's really cool to find something that works for all of them. And
Well, it
then,
is part of your city. I feel like
Yeah.
it was, even if you didn't like sports, like it's so representative of where you live and stuff, you would get on board.
it's still cool to get the merch and the fun shit, like,
Yeah.
regardless. But then the girls get to go to the Mall of America dressed as old ladies and go to the amusement park, and I think that's so hilarious.
Yeah.
Fucking Taylor has a walker and an oxygen thing in her nose. Stop. That's the best.
Yeah, that was very funny.
Taylor's my favorite person. That's just crazy.
It was good that we got something fun for them.
Yeah.
Glad.
But they got to go on roller coasters and all this stuff. It was cool.
Yeah.
Dressed as old ladies.
I don't know why it was old.
I don't know.
That really didn't make any sense. Maybe they all decided that should just be the theme.
But that's what I
beforehand,
mean. Like, who decided this? Did Netflix and, like, the show just, they were like, we're going to just get you some old lady costumes? Or were they like, can we really dress as old people? I think it'd be fun. Like, who did this?
Yeah.
Because who had a walker and they had all the wigs?
Well,
Like-
the walkers can be rented.
I guess.
And
It's
wigs
just
and
like,
stuff like you could just buy real cheap. But
I
yeah,
just think it's hilarious.
no, it was funny.
So I thought that was fun. We also, you know what we missed? Did we talk about Virginia and them? Yeah, we did. We didn't talk about that he gave her the basketball that
Oh yeah,
had Team Berkeley. Is that his last name?
yeah, something
Whatever
like
it is on it. And then he got them both made jerseys. So they said Team Berkeley on the front, and then they had
their name.
their names on the back and numbers. And he
It
gave
was
her
03 and she was 18.
for their wedding date. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really cool gift.
it was very, very Devon, and he
Yeah.
made it really work out well. It was very thoughtful of him.
Yeah, like he was like, it's something that represents like both
Me,
of us
you,
and the
both of
love.
us.
And then he was like, I love you and I love basketball. Because at first I was like, why the fuck did he give her a basketball? That's so stupid.
It was gold, but
Yes.
like then it had her name on it.
It was really cool. I thought that was really sweet. I forgot about that.
Yeah, sorry. So bachelor party ends, and then we go into Sarah and Ben's wedding. Woo!
They both look like they're saying yes.
They both look like they're saying yes as they come up.
The only
You-
Sarah's less because of her sister and her mom.
Yeah, we saw like Ben hang out with like 4 friends.
Yeah.
And like they ask him softball questions and he's just like, yeah, everything's good. I'm great. I'm ready.
Yeah, and he says he couldn't see himself not saying yes tonight.
Yeah.
And then Sarah also wants to say yes, and you can tell, but then her sister and her sister's girlfriend are talking about how they think Sarah's just going to say yes because that's what everybody wants or whatever.
Yeah.
But
She has to go through with it now
Yeah.
or whatever.
and then they tell her to be herself and make sure she's choosing for herself, which was good.
Yeah, behind her back it sounded much worse. And
Yeah.
then when they actually asked her and like we're trying to be like, are you sure you're doing
Yeah.
this for the right reasons?
And her stepdad kind of threw some questionable questions around before he gives her advice when he's about to walk her down the aisle.
Yep.
But then he gives her some nice advice and whatever. So I don't know. Like, Sarah's the wild card for me here now, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it does seem like Ben's
Yeah.
going to say yes.
But Sarah's going first.
You
So
really like before we get into that part, but you really like their reception or their
yeah, the
ceremony.
venue for this year is beautiful. Like, all their weddings are there because we saw in the preview that
They're all
they're all in the same place.
Yeah.
But they have like a cool flower
garden
gate.
door.
Yeah, that these people have to open and close every time people come in and out. But it looks really nice. Like, it seems way nicer than the other weddings we've ever seen on the show before.
Yeah, and I mean, like every year they can, like they have their base, and then you add your own flourish and much
Yeah,
to it.
But like that garden gate is just there, which is
it's a good
crazy.
venue.
Yeah.
Minnesota has better venues than other places.
It is beautiful.
So we end off on a cliffhanger because we go through the whole ceremony until the I wills instead of I do's.
Yeah. I will not.
I do not.
uh,
OSK.
let's do it, SK. But I don't know. I still think yes on both ends. I feel like Netflix is really fucking with me this year.
Yeah.
And really trying to like screw me into thinking there's a lot of drama and there's all this stuff going wrong and then it's really not that deep ever.
Yeah.
So
It does seem like they've been doing that especially well this season with like the way the trailers have.
yes, and then they make this like sad, ominous music, and you're like, oh no, but
Heartbeat.
I think it's
The beat of the heart throughout the
For, like,
last
a minute.
2 minutes is just like boom, 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 boom,
and then it ends.
boom,
And you're
boom,
like,
boom,
okay.
boom, 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 boom.
So yeah, then so we'll see, but I think it's gonna be a yes.
Sarah's about to say if she will or not. Ben hasn't said anything, and we're cut.
And then we see the preview for next week, and it looks like Taylor's crying, but I think it might just be her crying with her stepdad or her dad.
I saw Ben crying.
Apparently, I didn't see Ben crying, so I don't know. So I think they're just fucking with us. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so right now, Sarah saying yes?
I think they're gonna say yes.
Okay, I'm saying, but Sarah's a wild card. Again, I'm 55-45, so I'm saying Sarah says no, Ben would have said yes.
Okay.
But like, it's so close, don't count on it.
I want Taylor and Daniel to say yes.
And I'm gonna say yes for them.
So I'm saying yes to that. I don't know. Monica and Joey. I think
Monica.
we'll say yes.
I also think yes.
I think they're both on a yes. It's Virginia and Devin for me that I don't know.
Yeah, they're tough.
I don't know if they're gonna say yes, but I don't know who would say no. I think it's Devin.
I think it's Virginia that says no.
But then also the preview shows us Devin saying, "I don't know if I want to marry her."
Yeah, but I think that's just gonna be what he's gonna say right before he gets in it.
So we'll see. I don't know about them. They're my only couple that I'm like, meh. And they're the only one I don't care. If they say no, it's no. It doesn't matter to me, but I'll be devastated if Taylor and Daniel do not get married.
I will find you.
I will message
Daniel.
them, I will DM them, and I will complain because get the fuck out of here.
We'll complain to Netflix, a reasonable person thing to do. Not harass these people.
Why didn't you get married?
Oh, Lauren and Molly were both at Sarah's wedding.
Oh, yeah, they were. It was cute.
Yeah.
Just supportive.
2 X's of Dave equals 1 Dave.
Yeah. And
Much better than Dave.
And that's all from us.
That's all. That's it. That's all. See you tomorrow night.